I miss you too. I miss you too. Peace, peace, peace. Medea. Peace, Jermaine. Welcome, welcome, y'all. It's good to see y'all. I was really having a hard time with this Instagram live business. They want receipts. They want X amount of followers. They want you to unprivate yourself. All those things. So here we are. We said we were going to wait a little bit, but I got my sister on here. This is Dr. Kimberly J. Jermaine, you would feel this. Medea's already involved. Yeah. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Go ahead,
Oh my
sis.
gosh. I am Dr. Kimberly J. I am here to talk about Black women because that's all I talk about all day, every day. And so my work centers our healing, our restoration, our remembrance, our clarity, our partnerships, our love, our wisdom, our ancestral connections. And so, yeah, I'm just excited that you have me here in this space with you. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sister, of course. It's my pleasure. So yeah, y'all. So Dr. Kimberly is a beloved. I'm at this point in life where it's like, I'm pursuing this PhD degree and I got a lot of really good sister colleagues. It can't call them colleagues. We sisters, we've presented together at ABSI about Black mothering and doing all kinds of really radical, beautiful work together. And, Dr. Kimberly was like, let me carve a space real quick. As we know, we're in the middle of this time, right, where these institutions are crumbling. That's one way to put it, right? But we know we're in the midst of big time transition. And some of us, are in these institutions and at the same time recognizing that they're being midwifed down, right? They're going away as well. And we need alternatives. We need the both and. So Dr. Kimberly J has created a beautiful, beautiful program with Journey Healing Institute. So dope. Welcome, Geechee Vita. Welcome, sister. She's created a beautiful program. It's entitled Black and Indigenous Women's Identities, Spirit, and Spiritualities. And I just wanted to create some space for her to share about it. It's launching or launched?
We launched.
You
Yeah,
launched last week.
second semester. So
Yeah.
We had a fall cohort of 12 beautiful students. And we just launched the spring cohort last week. And so it's not too late to join the spring cohort of the program. So thank you. Should I jump in and just tell people a little bit about what it is? So it's the Black and Indigenous Women's Identities, Spirits, and Spiritualities program. And it is a 12-week program that integrates scholarship, ritual, embodiment, lived experience. And the crux of the program, though, what's really powerful about the program is that we do what I call a narrative arc in understanding the her story of Black women. Because a lot of the wisdom teachings, a lot of the knowledge, a lot of the history about who we are, not only from an identity perspective of the material, but from our spiritual and indigenous standpoints, in terms of our origin stories, in terms of our mother's origin stories, in terms of our lineages, in terms of the erasure that has happened in religious and spiritual spaces that gives us the authority, the autonomy of knowing our divinity and the embodiment of that divinity. So I use that terminology a lot in terms of embodiment. And when I talk about embodiment, that is, and I see my sister Medea on here, that is the true and living. That is the true and living origins of who and what we are, that goes beyond survival. And so a lot of the stories of Black women are rooted in superwoman syndrome, rooted in the matriarch in terms of her ability to keep the family together, to be able to do all the labor and all the heavy lifting, and to be not cared for. Not cared for, because she does all the caregiving. She does all the heavy labor. She does all the heavy lifting. And not that, and don't get me wrong, not that that is something that we shouldn't be doing or couldn't be, but it's more to our story and it's more to our history than being in this perpetual state of. And so what this course does, again, it goes to the beginning. It goes to us being the architects of existence. And what does that look like from a cosmological standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, from a divine standpoint? And it also talks about the erasure, where you don't see us playing in the fields of high priestess, medicine woman, diviners. And so really understanding our origins as earth-based spiritualists. And what does that mean? What does that mean from an empowered and a magic and empowered standpoint? So 12 weeks where we go from the origins, the architects of our existence, where we talk about what has happened in terms of the dismemberment of our bodies from our spirits, and what does that look like, and the price that we have paid generationally for that dismemberment, for that disconnection. And then we talk about the repair, the recovery, the remembering, the returning. And so the returning back to our indigenous, and I use the terminology indigenous intentionally because indigenous means root, going back to the root. We are the root. We are the foundation of all living beings on this planet. And so what does that mean from a perspective of empowerment, from a perspective of regeneration, from a perspective of creation? What does that really mean? And so this course is for us. It is by us. Again, we talk about things that are not in everyday scholarship, using scholarship, using research, using embodiment, using practical experiences, where the women in the course. And so one of the things that we're talking about this week is we talk about fleshing the divine. And what I mean by that is you always hear in scripture that we are made in the image and likeness of God, right?
That's right.
The image and likeness of God is never portrayed as a Black woman in contemporary times. So where do we find our connection, our rootedness, when all of the images and likeness of God are referenced by male figures, white male for Jesus, right? And then we'll have a Black Jesus. But where is the unity of the Black woman located in our narratives and in our stories? And so that's just one example of where we dive deeper into creating that imaging of God being the image and likeness of a Black woman. And so we really do go deeper into the cosmological aspect of being a Black woman. And
No, go
No,
ahead.
I
Go
think you
ahead.
were jumping in. Yeah.
Well, I just, one of the things that I wanted to say is like, one of the things that I think is really what's really important, right, about these times right now, like why enroll in a program that's not in an academy, right? And I think one of the things I want to say is like while these institutions stand, when I think about reading bell hooks on my own in my early 20s before I was a student, because I was on hiatus from school. I'm sitting in spaces getting my locks twisted and talking about bell hooks, and we're all relating, right? That these spaces, that accessibility is really, really important. And as we know, also gathering, circling up is really important, right? So we can be in mutual witness to each other. So one of the reasons I really wanted to bring you on was to sort of name that spaces exist out of the academy that are just as, I don't even like the word rigorous, so I'm going to say enlivening, that are just as enlivening and accessible and essential to us remembering ourselves in a way that is necessary right now. Because here's the reality. We're not all supposed to go get our PhDs, period. We work across a multitude of sectors. But in terms of like healing and getting liberated, I think we all have things to offer, right? So we get some of that from the academy, but it's Sankofa work. We get it, we look back, we bring it forward. And so one of the reasons that I think it's so important to be able to name that this sort of space is available is because finding each other in this work is life-saving. And right now we're looking for that, right? When we end up in these spaces, and the learning and the remembering work is so very much like it's experiential. Like you don't know it until you're in it, right? You don't know it. It's like when you hear a song lyric and you're like, oh, she saw me, right? It's the same sort of thing with this sort of learning. So what happens is we make reconnection with possibilities that we didn't know were possible, maybe, and we break cycles because we know it's possible in coming together, right? And not only that, but the thing for me is reckoning with what our foremothers did before us that may or may not have been archived.
Yes.
Is that we get to call that forward and share it with each other, and subsequently, we find healing, right? Healing and wholeness through that, and new alternatives for ways of being. So more. I want to hear about, in your opinion, who is this program made for, and who can attend?
Yeah. And so this program, and you are touching upon the reason why I created the program to begin with, as being a public course outside of the academy, because the thing that is missing from the academy is not only our voices centering our lived experiences, but it is also our healing. It is also our healing. It is also our rituals. It is also looking at how how do we ritualize our lived experiences, and how do we transmute, alchemize our pain, the histories of the generational trauma and the generational pain. How do we learn to alchemize that into power? How do we learn to alchemize that into creation and creativity and healing? And so that's missing. That's missing. And so I have my PhD in philosophy and religion with an emphasis on women's spirituality. And so I was in a program. And so going back to the both and, that's where the knowledge, the scholarship, the histories, the stories, because a lot of it is archived. We just don't have access. And so being in that program, it gave me access. It gave me access to a level of knowledge and scholarship that I didn't have. I didn't grow up on bell hooks. I have an MBA in finance. And so being exposed to these brilliant Black women, femme thinkers and practitioners. And so we were fortunate enough within our PhD program that we could explore, that we could canvas and go even deeper into the scholarship that was out there, where we could touch upon the Layli Macarans and the Mina Salamis, and who are thought leaders, Black women who are thought leaders. And so being able to take their scholarship now and bring it to the mainstream. So that's why I'm doing this public course, because it's very rigorous in terms of the resources that I'm using for the course. And then
and I want to call something in too. You broke up a little. Sorry, you broke up.
That's okay.
I wanted to call something in. Like, another thing about it is, we are, as you know, with my dissertation, I'm naming living luminaries. We have one in the chat, just Jermaine Jenkins. I actually is a farmer out here doing dope work. And when I taught race, gender, and environment at the College of Charleston, she was in the book by the sister. It would go right now. The sister up in Massachusetts near Indigo, but she has a farm. So, Farming While Black. Cited in there. You see what I'm saying? Like, so this is this other thing I think is in this work. I think that what you're doing is, like, also very much not just naming, the bell hooks, the Lele Maparians that we know, but also naming the living luminaries that are doing this work, because that is where I think that's what happens when we gather. We gather and we're like, oh, you're a doula. Oh, you're a farmer. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're working with children. Oh, you're teaching this. Oh, you're building this. And I think that these spaces are so essential right now, when we have spaces like social media that want to hijack our attention and forget us where we came from. To see each other and be like, oh, tell me more about how you did what you did, and lift each other's names up. And I think that's what you're doing in your course.
And bringing them into the space where even academia won't see them.
Come on.
Because they're healers, because they're practitioners. So that was a big rub that I had in writing my dissertation. Oh, well, where are they cited? Or where did they get a PhD? Like, what makes a credible source?
Let's go.
A credible source is somebody who is on the ground doing the work.
Not your celebrity academic, but the people that are in the communities.
People who are in the community. And again, this course that I created, because it's a public course, it gives those who have not taken the path through academia access to knowledge, the access to the knowledge, the access to the scholarship, and then the practice, the ritual.
Come on.
The ritual, the embodiment, and those, it's so difficult to find spaces where those are married together. And that's what this course does. It marries it together, and it gives access. It gives access to those who you don't have to be in the academy to get this knowledge, to get this scholarship. I curate all of the course content and give it to so you don't even have to buy all the books, because I'm curating the content and saying, here, now if you want to get the book, absolutely. But that price point it could be problematic for people.
Let's go.
These books are not cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not cheap. And so being able to share this knowledge, being able to have a space where your practitioner, your healer, your scholar can come, and then we're all together having these conversations. We're doing the knowledge together. And again, it's centering. So this course, going back to your question, this course was made for Black women, by Black women, for Black women. However, it is for anybody who wants to know the truth.
Let's go.
The truth of our existence that is not solely rooted in our pain, in our trauma. It is the truth of who we are, where we come from a divine standpoint, from a cosmological standpoint, from a life's purpose standpoint, from an ancestral lineage standpoint. That is not just rooted in pain, but it is rooted in power, and it is rooted in magic.
Yeah, let's go.
And when I say magic,
I mean, I think that, you know, and Geechee Vita asks what inspired you to give the course now, but one of the things I want to name, like just pause on, which I think is really important, is The academy also, in a multitude of ways, right, invites this compartmentalization. And we know that when you say magic, we know that spirit has always been essential to how we be here. We know that a multitude of ways, accessing a multitude of ways of knowing has been important to how we stay here, to how we transform realities, right? How we know. And so I think that the spaces, this sort of space invites that integration. It invites the whole self. It invites the ancestral ways. It invites, you know what I'm saying? Like it invites the like how we contend with modernity, right? What does invention look like? What are the practices like? It doesn't discount those, and it doesn't ask you to specialize and narrow in either. No. It just asks you to be seen and remember yourself with others. And I think that is essential
imagine
now, right?
Tomorrow. And imagine what we need to create.
That's right.
Because
in order to imagine a new future, you need some freedom. You need some peace. You need some finding, some founding, right? You need some breathing. You know, all of those things happen, I think, in that work, right?
Absolutely.
That you're offering.
Absolutely. Because make no mistake.
So Geechee Vita says, what inspired you to give the course now, specifically, Dr. Kim?
Ooh, that was my next point. The now, because again, if we look cosmologically, and we do have to look cosmologically, we have to look big picture. We have to look at all of the systems that are crumbling. We have to look at where Black women who have been holding up these systems from the root, like holding them up, systems that haven't served us very well. It has served us from a point of survival. We could pay the bills, but beyond that, we're suffering from health disparities. We are disconnected from joy. We are like the perpetual mules. We do, and these systems have not thanked us. They don't respect us. They don't appreciate us. And so it's all crumbling. And for a lot of us, it's like, well, what the fuck do we do now? And so being able to get back in your body, being able to get back to your purpose, which is higher than survival, being able to get clear on your lineages, on the will and power of Divine Mother, on the will and power of Ma'at and balance. It is up to us to bring that balance back into our personal lives, into our relational, into our partnerships. I love Black love. I ain't giving up on my Black men. But it's some healing and reconciliation. And so, but that can't happen until we center ourselves and understanding who the fuck we are, understanding our pain and trauma so we can transmute it. Not so we can sit in it, not so we can, woe is me. This is about transmutation. This is about, shameless plug, Dru, this is about the alchemy of now. This is about the alchemy of now. For sure. How do we alchemize the pain and the trust? So that's why now, because the planet needs us in our power right now. Right now, it is time for us to heal, to move forward, to gather our men, to gather the and do it in a way that we get to create a new tomorrow. Just as you said, we can't create a new tomorrow if we stuck in our pain, if we're sick, because we're exhausted. And so my PhD, my study was on healing intergenerational and collective trauma in Black women through embodied spiritualities. And when I did my research, the #1 trauma response that Black women suffer from right now is exhaustion. We are too tired to create new ways of being in relationship with ourselves, with our partners, with our communities. We are exhausted. And so we have to change that narrative. And not only to be able to resist, but to be able to create the new world, to be able to be the change that we want. And so that is why it's so paramount that we gather the women right
May I
now.
share something really briefly?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Because as you all are speaking, so gratitude, I did not know I was going to be on this joint, or
Gratitude,
y'all was going
sister.
to be on right now. So I just had to come through spirit. But it's speaking to what both of you are sharing, but why right now? So y'all saw me dig in, and this book came up, Ancient Future by Dr. Wayne Chandler. And I've had this book for many years, start opening up, the pages is falling out. But we are in a time right now, y'all. And he's not the only person that has shared this information, that we are in a new epic and era of time.
Yeah.
We are in the age of Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is shown as the water bearer. You know, the Greeks made it masculine. But this is the deepest time before, Aquarius goes into Pisces. But this is the mother time. This is divine feminine time. And I'm bringing up, I can't find it in the book right now, but everybody go research it. We are in the time right now from 2000 through right now 2026, when we are at the 26,500 year mark in Earth's transformation, and it's been happening over time. These are all the different ages we come through, right? The Bronze Age, this age, the stuff we see in the Bible, where they're the zodiac, there are different eras of time. And now this time is calling for the primordial mother to align herself, source herself, correct and heal all her creation. What also came up is this book, Jesus and the Lost Goddess. And in this one page, it's about this knowledge. And what just came up is about knowledge starts from within one's self. The premise of that, where I got from that, because when you speak about the word, the book, the Bible, Sophia, aka wisdom, the yin to the yang, has always been, because there is no yang without a yin, which is the cipher, which is the 0 point, which is the womb. So this is why it's right now, because we look at it all around us. The system is crumbling because that's just what time it is. It can no longer sustain.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And the only way in this world, whether you are a thought, a creation, a thing, is through the womb. And Kim, you said it. In order for things to be ma'at, put in its proper place, and healed and aligned, is that we, as women, first, and I am speaking very succinctly about women. I don't even want to go down rabbit hole around being political. To align ourselves around our creation. So I'm very grateful, Dr. Kim, that you asked me to be a part of this project and this work. It ain't even a project. It's what our mothers said we was going to do, and the three of us agreed to it, along with all the people who come forth to do the work. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
And
That's
thank
right.
you. Dia is one of our course instructors, FYI.
Yeah. No, that's what's up. Thank you, Medea, for saying that. You know, one of the things I constantly think about, being so blessed to be a mother of three people, two of them that are adults, is how, you know, a big part of creating the world we believe we know is possible is also like that intergenerational thread. So in relationship with our, you know, descendants, in relationship with our ancestors, this kind of waking up, right, is necessary. And then the other part of that waking up piece
which I like to say is like endarkenment, like not enlightenment, but endarkenment, right? Like that retrieval, that excavation, that remembering, that return is also that rest. When we're talking about exhaustion, so much of that exhaustion comes with um, psychological warfare, psycho-spiritual warfare, for real, for real, for real, around everything that's being fed. But when we find that space where it's like, oh, I don't have to explain myself, I don't have to argue, right, a dissertation, I don't have to fight to make make you believe what I know is real. Is that spaces like what you've created, Dr. Kimberly, help us. They alleviate, right, in that way, and we experience this sense of peace that comes with like, oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm not only am I good, I'm actually surrounded by a lot of people that are good because we're getting out of this sort of this overculture narrative, right, that has us out of our minds and hearts. So in that way, that's just another thing that I kind of want to name about it. And we have 4 minutes.
The constant proving of worthiness, proving.
Yeah, nah, ain't nobody trying to prove. Nobody has to prove anything. We be how we be, and we know we come from a lineage of those that knew and be, right. So that's the other part of it, is like, how do we, right, get back in right relationship with that lineage? And I think that these spaces invite that, and that is healing work. So we have 4 minutes left. Okay. What are some of your other offerings that support this work?
So to support this work, I also started because I'm clear that,
and we got to make sure we let folks know how they can,
absolutely,
get up.
Absolutely. And so to support this work, I also created what's called a soul to soul book study, where every other month we read a book from a Black woman, spiritualist, metaphysician, scholar, activist, and we dissect it. We go into the major themes. And so that's a donation-based offering. Again, I'm really big on trying to get to the public the knowledge, the information, the scholarship that does not tend to be accessible, that people don't even know is out there. Yep, that's the book. That's the book we're doing for February. And we have our live book study in March. So we have a month to read the book, and then the following we do study circles. Yep, we do study circles. And that's Spirit of Intimacy. Yes, Sabonfu Somé. And so that is one of the other offerings that we do. And then of course we have our flagship, I call it our flagship course, 12-week course. And we are also doing, so for people, one thing about that course, we center a lot of theory and scholarship, but also embodiment and experiential learning. And so a lot of our students last semester, they like, oh my God, this course has literally changed my life. Now I need to learn how to walk in this power, be that which I know I am. Because it's one thing to learn it, practice it, but how do I integrate it into my life? And so next month, we're offering a course on rituals, remembrance, and restoration.
Beautiful.
And so that kind of, does a good dovetail into the next piece. So yeah, that's our focus is healing-centered education. Again, it is for everybody. I don't want men especially need to understand the origins of Black womanhood and where they come from, because when they understand that, they'll understand exactly where they come from as well. So this course is not just for Black women. It is about Black women. It centers Black women. But again, we are the origin. Everything comes through, as Medea said, our womb. And so understanding that which created you, so you will have a different understanding, a different perspective, a different reverence, because the wounding is real. The mother wounding is real. It has affected the daughters, the sons, and so getting to the root of the mother wound, which we talk about, but tracing it, and why do we go back? So we can alchemize that pain so we can move forward with clarity, with discernment, with wisdom, with the truth.
Indeed.
And so those are some of our offerings. As I said, we had our first class last Wednesday, so it is not, and we just went through the syllabus and, so we just did the housekeeping stuff. So it is not too late to join us. If you want to be a part of the spring cohort, I will send the link to Dru where you can go in and check out the course, check out the course text, check out the course syllabus, where I have a site where you can just go ahead and get all the information. If you want to look now before I send Dru the link, you can just go to journeyhealinginstitute.com.
Beautiful.
One word, journeyhealinginstitute.com, and you'll see the course.
What's the Patreon, Dr. Kim?
I'm attempting to put that in the chat.
Or you can go to Journey Healing Institute Patreon. The information is there as well as a lot of our on-demand classes, a lot of meditations. And so for people who just want, some small doses of what it is that we offer, definitely go to Journey Healing Institute Patreon. Go on Patreon and do a search on Journey Healing Institute.
Yeah, and you know what, sis? I mean, thank you both, Medea, Dr. Kimberly. Y'all know how much I love you. Y'all, we're going to be presenting at the AB side. What is AB? Tell them what it is, because I always forget.
Association of Black Psychology. We are on another panel. We are doing Beyond Struggle Love.
Yes, it's about struggle love. It really is getting into, Black love for real, like, and kinship and really being explicit about what it's like being, out here, having our relationships, having our children, right? And also yearning for a love that doesn't feel like such struggle, right?
And
But
bringing
here's what I
it
want to say.
into my yachts.
Right. It's all grounded. It's grounded in Maya. It's grounded in Ubuntu. It's grounded in all of those original, right? Like the things we never necessarily learn unless we were in certain spaces. I want to think about the beauty of Be Collective. All that is embedded, right? It's embedded. These young people are getting it, but most of the systems we're engaged with, we got to get to higher education to remember that. So here's one of the things I want to say. Thank you for the course. What I love so much about what you're doing is not just the course, but you are offering people other ways to start to feel, right? To experience and to be in this community without having to commit to a course. And that's what's up, right? So y'all, you want to jump into a book together, be in community, be held in community, learn together, wake up in darken together. Please go to the website. Dr. Kim, I'm telling you, she's one of my beloved sister scholars. She's the dopest. Medea's the dopest. And we got to do more of this, y'all. We need each other. We need each other right now so we could do this work we're supposed to do. I mean, we really are
doing more.
Let's be very clear. We are our ancestors' greatest dream.
You feel me?
But yeah, more of this. So thank you for joining us. We'll be on, if you want to pop in on LinkedIn tomorrow, we'll be on LinkedIn live 4:30 Eastern. And you can jump on there, but I will be sure to download this. I'm gonna share it and also share again. Go ahead. What you got to say? Let me be quiet.
One quick thing. This is about you. I want to thank you for lifting up your sisters. It has been you. I remember months ago, you said, you know what? I want to be in the space to lift up those healers, those teachers, those practitioners who are doing the work, and you are doing it. And I thank you.
Gratitude.
Thank you.
I thank
I'm going to always lift y'all up. For real. We need each other. Always. I am my sister's keeper. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do for each other. And that's the only way to be in this world, period.
Simply so.
So I love you. I love y'all. I see all y'all in the chat too. I'm so grateful for y'all too, because y'all in the chat, y'all are a bunch of luminaries as well. It's amazing to share space with y'all. I hope to do more in the near future. So peace, y'all. Peace.
Much love. Ciao.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.